Hello, and welcome to Conversations Worth Your While, a show in which I chat with authentic, heart-centered experts about interesting topics to spark, inspire, and motivate personal and professional change. This conversation today, it is for women in business, and we're going to help you to step into your power and build your business without fear. Because whether you're thinking about starting a business or you're just starting one or you've been doing it a while, sometimes we're like questioning whether we can actually do this. Well, you know what? You can. And today we're going to share some practical real world advice. This is from me and my guest, two women business owners who walk their talk. Because if you're like any of us, you might just need a little kick in the can to become empowered, because you know what? You're never going to feel 100% ready. So let's just do it now. I'm very excited to be here today. So I am Linda Bucher. I am a speaker and I'm a master certified life coach. And after living the life of a chameleon and feeling like a victim for 45 years, I finally discovered who I am. I connected with my passion and my purpose, and I reinvented my life to align with my true self. And you know what? I have become a happier, more confident, and more fulfilled person because of it. But most importantly, this transformation resulted in me confidently unleashing my gifts to the world. And my mission is to help you do the same in your life, because you have a rich, full life to lead. You have important gifts to give to the world, and you have a splash to make. So we've got to make that happen, and I would love to help you do that. So if you're interested in learning how to know your worth, become clear on your purpose, harness your gifts, own your power, align your energy, your direction, and free yourself from all those obstacles that want to hold you back, we're going to talk about it for about 20 minutes. It's a free clarity session on me, and you can get that right from my website, lindabucher.com/chatwithlinda. So go ahead and set that up. All right, today I have the pleasure of being joined by Sharon Tasman. She is the founder of HTBiz Law, and she is making positive ripples in a very unique way, because Sharon empowers women to create successful businesses without fear and get paid what they're worth. Woo! So Sharon, thank you so much for being with us today.
Linda, thank you so much for having me on. I am just so excited to be able to help get the message out that women can build businesses and be business owners and really don't have to be afraid of the steps. They don't have to be afraid of the business aspects, the legal aspects. So whatever type of services business or business in general that they want to start, you can do it. And we want to show you how.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, this is perfect. So can you just tell us real briefly a little bit more about who you serve and what you do, how you're making positive ripples in the world?
Sure. So I have actually been an attorney for 30 years, first in big law and big corporate America. And also now for the last 10 years, I've been the founder and operator of HTBiz Law, where we help businesses understand and that you don't have to be a big corporation to have legal protection. And truly, legal protection is a small business's best friend. Legal doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to be threatening, and it doesn't have to be unaffordable. And that's what we're trying to do, is to help businesses understand that with legal, they're going to get paid what they're worth, protect their personal assets, and just have a better quality of life.
Well, that all sounds really good to business owners. I've worked with many brand new coaches to help them bridge the gap between expert and entrepreneur, because it's a giant gap, right? We're trained in one thing, we're an expert in one area, and then we have to step into entrepreneurship and we're like, wait a minute, I had some overview business classes and then that's it. Like when I took my coaching and my undergrad, because I have the master's coaching certification as well, but my undergrad coaching certification, they threw two little tiny business classes at us about how to get into business. And I came from the business world and I have a master's degree in business. And what they gave us was not even close to what someone would need to actually be in business. So we're trying, a lot of people are trying to bridge that gap between expert and entrepreneur. And I know that's something that you help people do, help women do. And so today it's very exciting to be able to be talking about how to become empowered, how to get into power, how to step into your power, and then we're also going to touch a little bit about how awesome it is and what happens when women are in power.
Yes.
So I'm excited for this today. So thank you so much for being here. So let's talk about how, women in business might not be feeling so powerful, right? Fears, challenges. What are some things that you come across with your clients?
So I think one of the biggest things I come across with women when it comes to starting and building a business is they're fighting against the society notion that we have to be the good girl, that we have to play nice, and they're hesitant to really go for it. Statistics have shown that men will go for the job, the promotion, the title when they're only 50 or 60% qualified. Women wait till they're 80 to 90% qualified. We can't wait. We can't wait till we feel 90% ready, 100% ready, because we never feel 100% ready. I've been a lawyer for 30 years. And I could do my own contracts. You never feel ready, and I'm sure you feel the same way. No matter how long in your business, you're always going to feel a little bit unsure, afraid, but that's okay. That's part of being in business. And one thing you have to understand is that the fear isn't bad, but since you're never going to not be a little bit afraid, don't wait. Start now, but just take the steps that are the right steps so that you're protecting your assets while you're building your business so you can get paid what you're worth. And that's what legal helps you do, is if you get the legal pieces in place in the beginning, your house isn't at risk if your business has a problem. You're not losing value. You're not stuck in situations where the client keeps saying, I want more, and you don't know how to get out of the contract. We can prevent all that at the start.
Beautiful, beautiful. And so we'll talk today about some of these pragmatic, real-world ways to prevent some of the very things that are causing women to have so much fear as business owners. There's also some other fears that come up. This is a big one, like, who am I to be doing this big thing? Right? Do I know enough? What if I'm not enough? What if I don't like it? Right? There's so many what ifs, and these what if fears are the main things to prevent us from moving forward. So it's, I don't know enough, and I'm not enough. I won't be able to do it. So if you don't know enough, there's so many people like you, like me, that we are resources of support for women, because this is the one thing women are really good at. We know, we get it, and we do it. It takes a village.
It does. It absolutely takes a village, whether it's building your business or managing your personal life or where they intersect, because that's something that women are often afraid of. How do I manage my life and be a boss? And I will tell you, we have to be prepared for the unexpected, because it does hit women more. The reality is we end up being more the caretakers for our family, for our kids, our parents. We have to be able to understand that that's going to happen. So the answer is, how do you get over that fear? It's prepare for it in advance. For me, I was not expecting that the year I started my law firm, I would not work for a year. People go, but you're a lawyer. Of course you work. Well, no, my mom's cancer came back for the 4th time in 3 years, not expected. So I spent that next year taking care of her. But even though it was annoying and admittedly stressful, I had prepared in that I had built a year's worth of living expenses as savings. So yes, the fears are there, and all these things that can and may happen, but you can prepare for them, whether it's a legal preparation or just a common sense preparation. There are ways to prepare to help minimize the impact of the real world situations that happen, because they're going to happen. Just, it's going to happen.
Right. And that's a really good point. When I quit my 6-figure giant fancy job to go back to school to become a life coach, what's a life coach? I don't know, but it's a calling. I got to do it. Right. There was a couple things that happened. One was the pragmatic thing. I had some savings, and I said, well, this savings is for my sunny day, not my rainy day. Why wouldn't I use it for a sunny day? Right. I'm going to use my savings to course correct and do what I'm meant to be doing. Follow that calling, follow my purpose. But I wanted to be prepared, like you said. So I needed to also have like a plan, like, what if I don't like it? What if it doesn't actually work out? Well, I made a contingency plan. I said, well, then what I'll do is I'll take all this new knowledge that I've gained in my life coach training and certification, and I will focus it on an area that I would feel good about, that would fulfill me, because the work I was doing wasn't fulfilling me personally, because I knew I'm not here on this planet to help corporations. I'm here on this planet to help humans, individuals. Like, I knew that. So how could I use this, but be paid by a corporation, right? That was like, that's going to be my new plan. So I made an entire plan. And just making that plan took a lot of fear away. So when we can plan for the just in case, right? That's all it was. It got rid of an entire layer of fear. Like, well, what if this doesn't work, right? Okay, I got a plan. It's not a perfect plan because I don't need to develop the plan fully until I actually needed to use it, if ever. But to have a plan took away so much fear. And that's what with the work that you're doing, that does. That takes away so much fear. So we're going to be talking about that really quickly as well.
So, what you said triggered, the expression failing to plan is planning to fail. It's having the plan. And some people say to me, they'll take one of my webinars, or they'll read my roadmap and they'll go, I'm not quite ready yet. Here's why. I'm like, that's okay. It may be that the answer is, for whatever logistical or practical reasons, now really isn't the time. But let's figure out what it takes to get you to that point. It is okay if the answer, because of reality, is now is not the time. It shouldn't be that fear is the reason now is not the time.
Perfect. I love that. Oh my gosh, Sharon, that is so awesome. Woo. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and it just, like you said, you want to help humans. And that so resonates with me, because when I was at Big Law, after I was there 15 years, my rate was, we won't go into what the rate was then or what it would be now. It would just, be well into the four figures for what I do. But it meant that I only could work for really, really large corporations. And let me tell you, helping do the technology on a nuclear power plant, not all that fulfilling on a personal, just not, as opposed to in the beginning of my career, when my rate was lower, I could work with companies that were making a difference, that were smaller, that had more mission-centered purposes other than just making money. And that's what having my own practice enabled me to do, is I get to choose who my clients are. I get to pick clients, even some of my larger, and I do still work with some corporate type of clients, but they're smaller corporate clients, but they have missions that make me go, yes, this is who I want to work with, or I'm feeling that I'm helping them make a difference.
Beautiful.
And for the last 4 or 5 years, I've really been building the focus on helping solo and small business women and members of the BIPOC community, because that's where I get the greatest joy. Is I am making a difference in the lives of people, individual people. I'm helping them build and grow a business that puts them in power, in charge of their own lives, that gives them security, that gives them generational wealth that they can pass on. And it feels good at the end of the day. And that's what I want to help my clients be able to do in whatever field their calling is. Right.
Beautiful. I love that. That's so beautifully said. Our missions are not far off from each other's by any means, because, we
approach it from different sides of the same coin.
From different sides. Yeah. And this is like the village, right? We are support partners for women. And
we certainly aren't revenue for them. We're support.
We're support, right? But okay, so
but we help them get the revenue.
Right, exactly. The main foundation of what I do is I help people to know their worth. And I don't mean know it up here in their heads. I mean at the cellular gut level, like, holy crap, I am worthy. Like that, like it's a knowing. And most people don't have that at all. And it took me a while. It wasn't until I actually completed my master coach certification that I actually was like, oh my God, whoa, I am totally 1,000% worthy. Woo, right? And so I love to help people to know that, because until you know that, you don't believe you deserve all the good things that your business can be giving you. You don't deserve this rich, full, beautiful life. You're not really worthy of this work that you've been called to do, right? You're like, what if I don't succeed? What if I'm not enough, right? Well, knowing you're enough is the very foundation, because when you know that you're enough, then you're giving your gifts not so that you're not trying to validate yourself. That's not why you're giving your gifts, which is why most people are doing what they're doing. They're like, oh, see, I'm really good at this. See me, know me, like me, use me, right? But this is a whole different place of coming at it from, I am worthy and I am here to give these gifts. And you give them without needing any reciprocation of or validation that you need people to know you for you to feel whole. You come at it from this place of wholeness. That's where, if all business owners came at it from this place, it would be like, wow, what could we do as women? Like, right? So this is the basis, the foundation.
And so for me, so I have two thoughts that come out of what you just said. The first is, so I also am helping women know their worth, but from a business value, competition, price their services perspective, because I see all the time women going, but can I really charge for that? Or it seems like I'm charging too much. And I work with them. I help them do an audit of all the tools they've developed to figure out what they actually should be charging. And when we walk through it, they go, oh, I guess I would charge for that, or it would be worth that. And it's, again, this fighting against the society expectations of playing nice or not being large, playing large. So we do both work on the knowing your worth, but from a different angle. But the other thing for me is when you talked about what women could do once we step into our power, I truly believe that having more women in power in positions of authority is good for the whole world. Women are, by nature, we are better at, and studies have shown it, we're better at talking, we're better at consensus building, we're more empathetic. And if there were more women in power, I am convinced we would have no or far less war. We would certainly have universal health care, and there would be paid child leave. I mean, it's just, so it's, but it's true, right? And when I've been doing deals for 30 years, I've done like $6 billion in deals. And 98% of the time, if you give me a woman as the opposing counsel, the counsel for the other side, I guarantee you, we will get to the contract at the end of the day better, faster, quicker, cheaper, and all of our clients will be happier, because we're trying to get to win-win instead of proving we know more. It's not, oh, look at me. And it's not whose is bigger. It's we just want to make it win-win for the clients. That's the goal, right? Is to avoid conflict, to prevent future conflict. And it's not that I hate men. I love men. I'm getting married in 3 weeks, but we just, for whatever reason, cultural, societal, innate, genetic talents, women just, we build consensus better. And having more women in the power positions to do that is good for the family, the village, the city, the world. And I truly believe that.
Yeah. I love that. That's a very beautiful sentiment. I believe the same thing. It's a really good point that because when people think, especially about like what you're doing with law and litigation, people are like, oh, that's for women. We're like, oh no, I don't want to get any litigation at all, right? We're like,
I never litigate. I
right.
do not litigate. My whole practice is transactional and counseling. My goal is, I feel I've succeeded if none of my clients ever need litigation.
Exactly.
Ever. And I don't do it, right? Exactly. My goal is to help them get to the win-win so that they're building their business, they're serving their clients, and that their clients are happy and they're happy, and people feel that it was a valuable relationship. I hate litigation. I did it for a year. I don't ever want to do it again. And I that is my goal, is to make sure that people understand the situation they've entered, the deal they've entered, the business they're growing or partnering with, so that they avoid the conflicts, because it is the lack of understanding between the two parties. That's the root cause of almost all business conflicts.
Yeah.
People don't agree. And that's what well-drafted contracts will do. Everybody understands what they're doing, what they're getting, how much it costs, when it has to be done. And that's how you get to the win-win.
Right. Knowledge and transparency. Those are great fear fighters. Great fear fighters.
So, you just sum up, like I'll say it in 2 sentences and you say it in 2 words. It's great.
Which is actually funny because most people who know me would say I'm very verbose. um, but yeah, I guess I can sum up pretty well. So
maybe that's why people don't like lawyers. But we say it in a lot longer. But there honestly is a reason. You should not like us. Okay, maybe some litigators you don't want to like. And I will tell you that when I decided to become a lawyer, I was not somebody who always knew I'd be a lawyer. My mother said, I've always despised lawyers, but I think you'll make a very good one. And my reaction was, thank you, I think. But that, and there is that stereotypical, we get associated with the lowest common denominator of lawyers. It's not all of us, but sometimes we do actually have to be a little wordy because there are in some types of law magic words that matter. But my goal is to write things in a way that people understand them, English.
Yeah, we all appreciate
plain English.
We're working with lawyers. Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, so let's wrap up a couple things here. So first of all, for all the women business owners who are listening, you are so much more powerful than you know and more powerful than you allow yourself to be. So with the support of other women in your village, Sharon, me, anyone else in your support system, you can step into your power, be empowered to be able to give your gifts and charge what they're worth, value-based pricing, which has nothing to do with your ego. Got to get the ego out of it. It has to do with the value that you are creating for your clients. And when you are stepping into your power and you totally know what the value is for your clients, then there's no more fear when they say, how much do you charge, right? When you have more knowledge and more transparency, and you are protecting your assets, that removes the fear of, oh, I might lose my house because of this business if it doesn't go well, or somebody doesn't like what I'm doing and they sue me, right? You're also, what Sharon helps you is to create ahead of time some service agreements so that you're not trapped in something that you didn't know you were getting into. Because it's this, when we don't know what we don't know, there's a huge fear associated with that. So when you have someone help write your service agreements like Sharon, she can make sure that you're not going to be trapped into doing something that you didn't really even know you were agreeing to because some other person wrote that contract not in plain English, right?
Or wrote it for the benefit of them.
Which is typically what's going to happen. Yes,
oh,
exactly.
Yes.
Right. So, and then something else is, and Sharon, I'll let you speak to this a little bit just for our last point here is, when we have a contract that like for a service contract, like a template, right? Mm-hmm. And it's all done by a lawyer who knows what they're doing, like you, right? And then we can use that over and over again. For me, that would save me so much administrative time. So like, oh, what does this contract have to say with this client or this client or this client? Like I just have one and I can just tailor a little maybe scope of work or something. Like here's what we're doing.
Yes.
And so if I don't have to do that much more administrative stuff, that frees me up to do the things that only I can do, my revenue generating things. And when I bring revenue in the door, I'm less fearful, right? So
all of us are, right? Money is good. We're not saying money doesn't matter. Just don't be afraid of it. Yeah. No, so that is exactly correct. So I joke that for a lot of my small business clients, I write myself out of a job. That my goal in a way is to write myself out of a job because truly having the template, your service agreement, a confidentiality agreement, an agreement that you can give when you hire somebody like a virtual assistant or a video editor. When you have the templates that are drafted for you, you're not wasting the time or spending the time to try to understand what somebody else wrote, which means either you're probably going to sign it just because they put it in front of you, or you're going to spend money hiring a lawyer to review it, or it's going to take you that much longer. When you have your own templates, you save so much administrative time. I really believe in build it once, use it 1,000 times. Mm-hmm. And you exactly described it. The templates I write for clients, the only thing you have to change is the name of the other side and the description of the product or project that you're going to do. And you will know how to do it because part of what I do when I draft templates for people is I train them. We do video training. We walk through the template and I explain, here's how you write a statement of work. Here are words to look out for. And if the other side makes a change, what they can live with and what they can't, or just come back to me. But I try to empower people not to have to, which I know is counterintuitive with making money, but that's my goal, is to empower women, right? To not always need a lawyer or to need me far less. So that's my goal.
Right. Yep. Oh, I get it. I do the same thing. I graduate my clients. They're usually, depending on how often they want to meet, we meet weekly. It's about 3 months and then graduated. It's fabulous. So I do the same thing. And it really is about empowerment. Like I said, the way I do it is through helping people to really know their worth, identify their talents and gifts, discover their purpose, align all that energy and focus with all those things, and then be able to make a splash. Because I truly believe that each one of us, especially as women, oh my gosh, we have so much to give, and we are here to make a splash that ripples positively in our worlds, and maybe, like Oprah, like in the whole big world. We don't know. We never know until we step into that power. So that's how we do it. And this has been such a wonderful conversation. Sharon, thank you so much for being on Conversations with Your While with me today. I know you have something that you can offer our listeners. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. I've created a free resource. I call it my Legal Essentials Roadmap. It's the 6 must-haves to build and grow your business and stay legally protected. And it's going to be I believe you're going to have the link in all of your notes. But for those of you who like to hear it, it's roadmap.htbizlaw.com. And like I said, it's a free work, guide on the steps that you should do and some action items you can take right away that don't cost anything.
Awesome. So yeah, I love giving the audience free gifts. So that's one of them. The other one is on my website at lindabucher.com/success. You can download a free ebook. It's a workbook, so you're gonna have to do a little work. And it's called Success on Your Own Terms, a simple, straightforward guide to redefining success. Because we got to redefine it according to who you are instead of according to that legacy definition you've been carrying around your whole life. So you can find that as well. So we'll put the links to both of those free resources and how to contact Sharon and how to contact myself in the show notes. So please go ahead and check those out. Once again, I'm Linda Bucher, a speaker and master certified life coach. And if you feel stuck or unfulfilled or out of alignment, let's talk about it. Free 20-minute clarity session that you can get with me at lindabucher.com/chat-with-Linda. And that is our show. Please come back next week for another topic, you lifelong learners. These are topics to help you grow, succeed, thrive, and make a splash that ripples positively in the world. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and don't forget to click on that little bell that will remind you each time that I release a new video. And I'd like to thank Sharon Tasman, founder of HTBiz Law, for being here. And I'd also like to thank you, devoted listener and lifelong learner, for sharing your time with us today. So once again, I'm Linda Bucher, and until next time, please make sure you've made this conversation worth your while by fueling the spark that it ignited.